You wake up tired, your belt feels tighter, and the doctor's words echo in your mind. Blood pressure a bit high, blood sugar creeping up, bad cholesterol rising. Nothing hurts badly, yet nothing feels right. This is the quiet face of metabolic syndrome. Like a smoke alarm beeping in the distance, it warns not of flames today, but of a fire that could spread tomorrow. Tonight, we open a door to a different path. The Mediterranean way of eating and living. If you have a rounder waist, borderline diabetes, rising blood pressure, or high triglycerides, you might feel nervous, confused, or even guilty. Yet, you are not alone. Millions live with these same signals. The Mediterranean diet, described in the Mediterranean Diet for Beginners, offers not a quick fix, but a gentle, science-backed way to calm these alarms. Stay with me, scene by scene, as we turn medical terms into simple choices on your plate and in your day. Metabolic syndrome is not one disease, but a cluster of conditions that travel together. High blood pressure, high fasting blood sugar, large waistline, high triglycerides, and low HDL, the so-called good cholesterol. Imagine a team of small leaks in a dam. Each leak seems minor, but together they strain your heart, blood vessels, liver, and pancreas. The good news: lifestyle changes, especially the way we eat, can slow and often reverse many of these risks over time. Before we walk further, a gentle but important note: the Mediterranean diet is deeply researched and generally safe, but your body and medications are unique, especially if you take medicine for diabetes, blood pressure, or cholesterol. Changes in diet can influence your numbers. Please consider this video an educational journey, not a personal prescription. Before making major changes to your eating plan or medications, you should consult a physician or qualified health professional. When you hear Mediterranean, you may picture blue sea, stone villages, and slow, laughter-filled meals. Yet you do not need to move to Greece or Italy to benefit. The Mediterranean diet is not one strict menu. It is a pattern: generous vegetables and fruits, whole grains, beans, nuts, olive oil, fish, herbs, and modest portions of dairy and meat. Think of it as inviting the sea breeze into your own kitchen, one grocery list at a time. Hearing the words metabolic syndrome can feel like a verdict. Yet what if we treat it as a message instead? In research from Mediterranean regions, people who eat this way tend to have lower rates of heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. Their meals calm inflammation, improve cholesterol balance, and support insulin sensitivity. Instead of fearing every lab value, we can grow curious. How might my next meal whisper healing instructions to my cells? Imagine invisible switches inside you. Some turn up blood sugar, others raise blood pressure, others signal your liver to send out more fat into the bloodstream. Highly processed, sugary, and salty foods often flip these switches the wrong way. In contrast, fiber-rich vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats from olive oil and nuts tend to nudge them toward balance. The Mediterranean diet works less like a hammer and more like a careful hand, retuning these inner controls. Picture one ordinary day before change. Breakfast is sugary cereal or a pastry on the run. Lunch, eaten at the desk, is a large sandwich with processed meat and chips. In the afternoon, coffee and cookies keep exhaustion away. Dinner arrives late, heavy with fried foods and white rice, followed by late-night snacks in front of a screen. Every meal arrives like a small storm, flooding your bloodstream with sugar and fat, then leaving you drained. Now imagine another day, weeks into your Mediterranean journey. Breakfast is thick yogurt with berries, nuts, and a drizzle of honey. Lunch brings a large salad with chickpeas, olive oil, and whole grain bread. The afternoon snack is a handful of nuts and a piece of fruit. Dinner is baked fish with roasted vegetables and herbs. Your blood sugar rises gently, not sharply. Instead of storms, your bloodstream feels like a calm river, carrying steady energy. The book for beginners introduces core building blocks: vegetables and fruits at most meals, whole grains like oats, barley, and brown rice, beans and lentils several times a week, nuts and seeds most days, olive oil as the main fat, fish and seafood often, modest dairy like yogurt and cheese, and smaller portions of poultry, eggs, and red meat. Rather than counting every gram, think in colors and origins. Real foods, from soil and sea, not from factories. Olive oil is more than a tasty dressing. Rich in monounsaturated fats and antioxidant compounds called polyphenols, it may help improve HDL cholesterol and reduce LDL oxidation, one step in artery plaque formation. Think of it as a protective coat inside your blood vessels, smoothing the flow. Choosing extra virgin olive oil, used in moderation instead of butter or margarine, is one of the simplest Mediterranean shifts with powerful benefits for metabolic health. In metabolic syndrome, blood sugar tends to surge quickly, forcing your pancreas to work overtime. Fiber from vegetables, fruits, beans, and whole grains acts like a sponge, slowing the entry of sugar into your bloodstream. It also feeds beneficial gut bacteria that may influence inflammation and weight. Every time you swap white bread for whole grain or add beans to a salad, you are quietly strengthening this inner shield. Simple choices, repeated daily, rebuild protection. Heavy, fatty meats can increase saturated fat intake, which may worsen LDL cholesterol and insulin resistance. The Mediterranean pattern shifts the spotlight to fish, beans, and modest portions of poultry and eggs. Fatty fish like salmon, sardines, or mackerel bring omega-3 fats that support heart rhythm and may lower triglycerides. Beans and lentils deliver protein plus fiber, keeping you full longer. Your plate becomes lighter, yet your satiety more stable and calm. In the beginner's guide, color becomes an easy rule of thumb. Deep greens, reds, oranges, purples, and yellows signal plant chemicals called phytonutrients. They act like tiny bodyguards, helping to reduce oxidative stress and inflammation, both important in metabolic syndrome. When you assemble a plate that looks like a garden, spinach, tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, berries, you are not just decorating. You are building an army of microscopic protectors with each bite. Imagine a person much like you. Their doctor circles numbers on a lab report. Waist 40 inches, blood pressure 140/90, fasting sugar 115, triglycerides high. They leave the clinic with fear and a brochure they hardly read. Weeks later, a friend shows them a Mediterranean recipe. At first, it is just one meal, then a week of experiments. In 3 months, they notice looser pants, calmer energy, and lab values beginning to soften. A turning point began with one plate. Hospitals treat crises. Your kitchen treats the everyday. Each chopping board can be as important as a prescription pad. When we choose whole, Mediterranean-style foods, we help lower blood pressure by reducing excess sodium and increasing potassium from plants. We help reduce insulin spikes with fiber and healthy fats. No meal is magic, but repetition is. Over weeks and months, your kitchen's small rituals can become one of your most powerful therapies. For beginners, breakfast is a powerful place to start. Instead of sweet pastries or sugary cereals, the Mediterranean approach favors options like oatmeal with nuts and fruit, whole grain toast with avocado and tomato, or plain yogurt with seeds and berries. These combinations bring fiber, protein, and healthy fat, which helps steady blood sugar and reduce mid-morning cravings. Imagine each morning as tuning your metabolic orchestra before the day's performance. In the Mediterranean beginner's plan, lunch often centers around a generous salad bowl. Not a few lonely leaves, but a full meal, mixed greens, chickpeas or lentils, colorful vegetables, olives, feta, or grilled chicken, and a drizzle of olive oil and lemon. This big salad brings slow digesting carbohydrates, protein, and healthy fats. It fuels the afternoon steadily, helping to prevent the crash that often pushes us towards sugary snacks and extra coffee. Dinner in many modern lives is heavy and late, which can worsen blood sugar control and heartburn and disturb sleep. The Mediterranean rhythm often favors a lighter evening meal, maybe grilled fish or beans, a large portion of vegetables, and a side of whole grains. Ending the day with a meal that satisfies without overwhelming gives your metabolism a calmer night. As your gut rests, your body turns to repair rather than constant digestion. For those with metabolic syndrome, snacks can be dangerous or healing. Processed chips, pastries, and sugary drinks drive rapid spikes and crashes. The Mediterranean Beginner's Guide suggests simple swaps: a handful of nuts, sliced vegetables with hummus, olives, a piece of fruit, or a small slice of cheese with whole grain crackers. These options provide satisfaction with less impact on blood sugar. Each snack becomes a bridge, not a roller coaster, between meals. Sugary sodas, energy drinks, and even many fruit juices can silently add hundreds of calories and rapid sugar loads, worsening insulin resistance and belly fat. In Mediterranean regions, people often drink water, herbal teas, and modest amounts of coffee or tea without much sugar. Sometimes, they enjoy a small glass of red wine with meals. For those with metabolic syndrome, focusing first on water and unsweetened drinks is a gentle but powerful lever to pull. You may have heard that red wine is part of the Mediterranean lifestyle. Some studies suggest that light to moderate alcohol intake, especially with food, may have heart benefits. Yet alcohol also carries clear risks, including increased blood pressure, liver strain, and dependency. If you do not drink, there's no medical reason to start. If you do, discuss safe limits with your physician, particularly if you have metabolic syndrome or take medications that interact with alcohol. Even with healthy foods, portion sizes matter. In many traditional Mediterranean villages, plates are smaller, meals slower, and portions naturally modest. For metabolic syndrome, this helps reduce total calorie load, supporting gradual weight loss and improved insulin sensitivity. One simple practice from the Beginner's Guide: fill half your plate with vegetables, a quarter with whole grains or starchy foods, and a quarter with lean protein. Let water, not food, fill the extra space. In research, it takes about 20 minutes for your brain to receive signals of fullness from your stomach and intestines. When we eat quickly, we pass this warning sign and often overfill. Mediterranean meals traditionally unfold slowly, with conversation and pauses. By putting down your fork between bites, tasting your food fully, and checking in with your body halfway through, you let satiety catch up. For metabolic syndrome, this simple slowing can quietly cut daily calories. Salt, sugar, and heavy sauces often dominate modern flavor, yet the Mediterranean kitchen shows another way. Herbs like basil, oregano, rosemary, and thyme. Spices like cumin, paprika, and coriander, lemon, garlic, and vinegar. These ingredients make food vivid without extra sodium, sugar, or unhealthy fats. Some herbs and spices even provide antioxidant compounds. For your metabolic health, seasoning becomes an art where pleasure and protection blend in every bite. The Beginner's Guide encourages a simple habit: pause and read labels. Focus on added sugars, sodium, and types of fats. For metabolic syndrome, excess added sugar fuels high triglycerides and belly fat, while high sodium can worsen blood pressure. Saturated and trans fats may harm cholesterol and insulin sensitivity. When possible, choose items with short ingredient lists, no trans fats, lower sodium, and minimal added sugars. Each label you read is a vote for your future health. Sugar is not evil, but in modern quantities, it becomes a trap. For people with metabolic syndrome, frequent high sugar intake forces the pancreas to release more insulin again and again. Over time, cells become less responsive, a process called insulin resistance, a core driver of type 2 diabetes. The Mediterranean pattern naturally lowers added sugars by focusing on whole fruits and minimally processed foods. Dessert can still exist, but as a guest, not the host. White bread, white rice, and many pastas are quickly digested, spiking blood sugar and often leaving you hungry again soon. Whole grains, by keeping their bran and germ, deliver fiber, vitamins, and a slower release of carbohydrates. Studies link higher whole grain intake with lower risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes. The Mediterranean Beginner's Plan suggests swapping white for whole, brown rice, whole wheat bread, oats, barley, quinoa, small grain shifts, big metabolic benefits. Fat is dense in calories, but not all fats act the same in your body. Saturated and trans fats, common in processed meats, some baked goods, and fried fast foods, may raise LDL cholesterol and promote inflammation. In contrast, unsaturated fats from olive oil, nuts, seeds, and fish can support healthier cholesterol profiles and lower inflammation. The Mediterranean diet does not fear fat. It chooses the right types, in moderate amounts, to heal rather than harm. Change is easier when decisions are made in advance. The beginner's Mediterranean guide often includes simple weekly meal plans, rotating breakfasts, take-to-work lunches, and quick dinners. For metabolic syndrome, planning helps avoid last-minute choices driven by fatigue and cravings. Set aside a moment each weekend to sketch 3 breakfasts, 3 lunches, and 3 dinners you will repeat. Your plan becomes a map that guides you calmly through busy days. Your grocery list protects you before temptation even appears. The Mediterranean beginner's approach suggests organizing lists by category: produce, whole grains, proteins, healthy fats, and extras. Enter the store with intention. Start in the produce section, fill most of your cart there, then move to grains and proteins. Avoid aisles filled mainly with sweets and ultra-processed snacks. For metabolic syndrome, what you bring home sets the ceiling for what you will eat. On hard days, even the best intentions can collapse into takeout. Batch cooking is your quiet ally. Once or twice a week, prepare larger amounts of Mediterranean basics: a pot of lentil soup, roasted vegetables, grilled chicken, cooked whole grains. Store them in clear containers. Then, tired future, you can assemble a balanced meal in minutes. For metabolic syndrome, this reduces reliance on emergency fast foods that often aggravate blood pressure, sugar, and fats. Life does not stop for any diet. Parties, business lunches, and travel will come. The Mediterranean mindset can guide your choices. Look for grilled fish or chicken instead of fried. Choose vegetable sides over fries. Ask for dressings and sauces on the side, and favor tomato-based over creamy dishes. For metabolic syndrome, these small decisions help prevent restaurant meals from becoming metabolic ambushes. You stay social while still respecting your body's quiet needs. Food is entwined with love, culture, and habit. You may face family members who tease, insist you eat more, or cook in old ways. The beginner's guide reminds us change can be gentle and shared. Offer to cook one Mediterranean-style meal for the family each week. Explain to loved ones that your health needs are real, not vanity. For metabolic syndrome, you are not just losing weight. You are preventing heart attacks and diabetes. That is a story worth telling. Cravings are not signs of weakness. They are messages from your brain and body. Stress, lack of sleep, and blood sugar swings can all trigger urgent desires for sweets or salty snacks. The Mediterranean lifestyle, combined with balanced meals, often softens these signals over time. When a craving hits, pause. Drink water, breathe, eat a small, healthy snack if needed. Ask, am I hungry? Or am I tired, bored, or sad? Respect the feeling, but choose your response. Stress hormones like cortisol can raise blood sugar, promote belly fat, and push blood pressure higher. Many people with metabolic syndrome live under constant pressure. In Mediterranean cultures, daily pauses, social connection, and walking are as much part of health as food. Consider simple rituals: a short walk after dinner, a few minutes of deep breathing, or talking with a friend. Your nervous system cools, and the metabolic fire that once raged begins to calm. While the book focuses on food, research is clear. Regular movement is a powerful partner. Walking, cycling, swimming, or even housework can help muscles use glucose more efficiently, improving insulin sensitivity and aiding weight control. In Mediterranean towns, people often walk to markets and climb stairs daily. You do not need intense workouts. Start with 10 to 15 minutes of walking after meals. As always, if you have health concerns, discuss exercise plans with your physician. Short or poor quality sleep can worsen insulin resistance, increase hunger hormones, and raise blood pressure. Many with metabolic syndrome are quietly exhausted. Mediterranean evenings often emphasize winding down, lighter dinners, less screen time, and slower conversations. Aim for a regular sleep schedule, a dark, quiet room, and a calming pre-bed ritual. When you sleep well, your body handles food and stress more gracefully the next day, multiplying the benefits of your diet. As you practice Mediterranean habits, numbers may begin to shift. A few pounds lost, waist circumference narrowing, blood pressure easing, fasting sugar stabilizing. It is tempting to weigh yourself daily, but progress is rarely a straight line. Instead, check in weekly or monthly, keep a simple journal of meals, movement, and mood, and celebrate non-scale victories, climbing stairs with less breathlessness, waking with more energy, feeling hopeful. Healing is more than a number. As you change your diet and lifestyle, medications for blood pressure, sugar, or cholesterol may need adjustment. Never stop or change medicines on your own. Instead, share your plans with your physician. Bring questions. Can we monitor my blood sugar as I improve my diet? What targets are realistic? Together, you can track how your body responds. The Mediterranean diet becomes not a solo experiment, but a partnership between you, your food, and your care team. There will be days when stress wins, when you say yes to fast food or skip your walk. This does not erase your progress or define your future. The Mediterranean approach is forgiving, like the sea after a storm. Instead of guilt, practice curiosity. What led to this choice? How can tomorrow's environment support me better? For metabolic syndrome, long-term patterns matter more than single meals. Return gently to your new path at the very next opportunity. No two lives are identical, and neither are two Mediterranean plates. Some people need fewer carbohydrates, others may tolerate more. Some avoid certain foods for cultural, religious, or medical reasons. The beginner's book encourages flexibility. Keep the core, plants, whole grains, healthy fats, fish, then adjust. If you have kidney disease, severe diabetes, or other complex conditions, personalization is essential. In such cases, collaborate closely with your physician or a dietitian. Over decades, studies of Mediterranean-style diets have found lower rates of heart attacks, strokes, and type 2 diabetes, especially in people at high cardiovascular risk. In some trials, participants following a Mediterranean pattern had better blood pressure, improved cholesterol ratios, and less progression to diabetes. For those with metabolic syndrome, these findings are more than statistics. They are a map drawn by thousands of lives, showing a safer road ahead. Strict diets often begin with intensity and end with rebellion. The Mediterranean approach invites you into a way of life instead. It does not ban entire food groups. It shifts emphasis. It asks, what can I add, more than what must I remove? For metabolic syndrome, this mindset reduces shame and increases sustainability. If you enjoy your meals, share them with others, and feel satisfied, change is far more likely to last beyond a few weeks. Let us imagine one beginner-friendly Mediterranean week. Breakfasts, oats with fruit, yogurt with nuts, whole grain toast with tomato, lunches, hearty salads, leftover vegetable stews, grain bowls with beans, dinners, baked fish, lentil soup, roasted chicken with many vegetables, snacks, nuts, fruit, olives, sliced veggies. You are not counting every calorie, but you are counting on patterns. Each day, your body receives a steady rhythm of nutrients instead of chaos. One of the book's gentle lessons is the power of small rituals. Choose one Mediterranean-inspired morning habit: drinking a glass of water upon waking, preparing a fiber-rich breakfast, or taking a 10-minute stroll before work. For metabolic syndrome, anchors like these create stability in your day. When mornings begin with care instead of chaos, later choices often follow. Your first decision each day becomes a quiet vote for your long-term health. Before sleep, spend a gentle minute asking, what went well today? Maybe you added beans to lunch or chose fruit over dessert. Also ask, where did I struggle? Without accusing yourself. You might notice patterns, certain times of day when cravings peak, or social situations that test you. For metabolic syndrome, awareness is a powerful medicine. Over days and weeks, these quiet reflections teach you how to design an environment where the Mediterranean path feels natural. Close your eyes and imagine yourself 12 months from now if you gently follow this Mediterranean pattern most days. Perhaps your waist is a few inches smaller, your lab results calmer, and you walk with steadier breath. Maybe your doctor smiles and reduces a medication dose. More than that, you trust your own hands in the kitchen, your own choices at the table. Metabolic syndrome no longer feels like a sentence, but a chapter you learn to rewrite. Change feels less overwhelming when broken down. Step 1. Choose one Mediterranean breakfast you will enjoy this week. Step 2. Prepare one large salad or vegetable-based dish to anchor your lunches. Step 3. Replace one kind of fat, like butter or margarine, with extra virgin olive oil at home. For metabolic syndrome, these first steps already begin shifting blood sugar, lipids, and blood pressure in a kinder direction. Then, add more steps only once these feel comfortable. You have walked through 50 scenes, from fear to understanding, from strict diets to a livable Mediterranean path. Metabolic syndrome may still be part of your story, but it no longer owns the pen. Before you change your habits or medications, please discuss your plans with your physician. If this journey sparked hope, I kindly ask you to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share it with someone who needs encouragement. Your next meal can be your next act of healing.